All right, guys. So this is the graphic organizer we completed yesterday, right? And I put this doc on Google Classroom, so you're able to reference it as often as you need. And hopefully, but I'll go back and check. Hopefully it's updating as I'm updating it. So this is yesterday's work. We did this. We picked our textual evidence. Hopefully you worked on that Tuesday. Yesterday we worked on analyzing that, and remember we talked about the fact that that need to be like 3 to 4 sentences. And when you're looking at the length of your paragraph, that takes up the greatest length of it. Today, we're looking at how do we take that stuff, that evidence, and that analysis and turn it into a well-written paragraph. So I took the ideas that I had here and the ideas that I had here, and I took my transition, of course, and all I did was work to revise it to make sure my transitions were a little bit more effective and to make sure that my word choices were a little bit more effective. And then, of course, because this is such a long piece of evidence, I didn't want to use the whole thing. I wanted to use what I was focusing on, all right? And what I was focusing on was just this part that I bolded yesterday. So you'll see in just a second that that's the only part of the quotation that I included. And depending on what your analysis is, that may be enough. All right, so let's look at what I have. Immediately following the pivotal balcony scene, the readers are introduced to Friar Lawrence. In his opening soliloquy, Friar Lawrence observes that good and evil exist in all of mankind and, quote, where the worser is predominant, full soon the canker death eats up the plant. Of course, citation, Act 2, Scene 3, lines 29 through 30, ultimately suggesting that the evil qualities of man, when taken to the extreme, lead to the downfall of man. Okay, so here I've assured my instructor, that's me, that you understood the quote itself. So this is just assurance to your teacher that you know what that quote means. Smiley face. Okay, ironically, it is ironic, right? It's something that happens and it's the opposite of what we expect to happen because we're talking about somebody who, when they take their good and their evil qualities, when that evil quality consumes the most of them, it consumes all of them, right? So we're ultimately foreshadowing Romeo's death because he's got that quality of passion. So ironically, Romeo enters immediately after, and after a brief but muddled exchange, right, it's confusing, asserts, then plainly know my heart's dear love is set on the fair rich daughter of Capulet. And I put ellipses there, that's that ... indicating there's more to that quote, but it's really not necessary for my writing. And then, of course, I've cited it, Act 2, Scene 3, lines 57 through 58. He goes on and asks Friar Lawrence to marry him to Juliet. In this moment, we see a concerning transition in the way Romeo communicates his feelings about love. Previously, Romeo was confused by the love he felt. This is especially obvious when he speaks in oxymorons, when telling the tale of his love for Rosaline in Act 1, Scene 5. This distinct declaration of love suggests Romeo's passion has coerced him to forego any rational thought about his love and allegiance to Juliet and move forward with the marriage as quickly as possible, ultimately suggesting that the power of passion is extreme. All right. Everything from in this moment down is your E. It's your analysis. Right? So what I've done in this first sentence of my E is I've remarked on the transition that we've seen in Romeo. Now my thesis statement, remember, is going to be about passion. All right, so my whole blog post is about passion. But for this specific example, I'm marking that transitional moment in which Romeo goes from confused, namely because the woman she loves doesn't love, or he loves doesn't love him back, to clear as day, I finally have love returned, and now I want to move forward with this as quickly as possible. So I indicate that there's a concerning transition. Previously, Romeo was confused. Just like I said in the graphic organizer, I'm indicating that contrast there, but talking about that oxymoron. This succinct declaration of love, that's going back to this quote here, suggests Romeo's passion has coerced him to forego any rational thought about his love and allegiance to Juliet and move forward with the marriage as quickly as possible, ultimately suggesting that the power of passion is extreme. I'll be right back. My screencast is about to stop.